Hey everybody. So I wanted to go over Sniper Rifle Ballistics in Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, I made a post on the Ubisoft forums basically complaining about the fact that they all have the exact same ballistics, right? To which I was called out. Somebody said I was wrong, whatever. So I originally made a video testing this, went to test it because, I mean, just from playing nonstop since it released at midnight the other day, I can tell the difference. Like, they all basically shoot the same. The only rifle I found that doesn't doesn't conform to this is the SVD. It's just weird. It might be because of the parts, because I can't put the same kind of parts on it that I can the other ones. That's possible. The argument is that Ubisoft has gone the Division route, and rifles are basically RPG type stat level ups, right? They don't perform differently. All the different parts basically change the way the gun works. It doesn't change the round at all. I'm going to demonstrate this by using the M40 A5 as the base gun. And I'm going to go through every single rifle except for the SR1 and the store exclusive ones and the boss ones because I don't have those unlocked. What you're going to notice is, well, what I want you to look for are two things. One, I'm not going to change my point of aim at all. I'm going to try to hold my hand as still as possible. It might move a little bit because I'm old and can't do things right? So what I want you to look for is when I'm aiming down the sight, I want you to notice the field of view through the scope, right? So what that means in a baseline is I'm going to be centered on this red barrel. It's 600 meters out. What I mean centered is centered according to the scope. If I aim at dead center, because you can't adjust 0 in this game, it will fall short. So 600 meters, putting the second hash right underneath it is basically a dead center hit. Now, what I want you to pay attention to with the scopes is off to the left, this building. I want you to pay attention each time I switch to a different gun on where that building is in the scope. Because I'm going to basically demonstrate that instead of actually adding ballistics and different bullet drops to the game, Ubisoft instead fucked with scope field of view to make it seem like you're adjusting for different ballistics, but you're in fact not. They're actually all the same. They all share the exact same point of aim. There's no difference. So, as a preface, I'm going to be using every single rifle that I have unlocked. They all have as identical parts as possible. They're all using the exact same scope, which is the T5X, I believe it is. Yep, the T5XI Tactical. It's a 6-power scope. If I can put a long barrel on it, it's on it. If I can put a compensator V2 on it, it's on it. You might see a little bit of different performance from the ones that don't have these parts. Again, it's not the bullet or the ballistics that are changing. It's just them making the gun handle a different way because of the parts. Because, in fact, the weapons are just like... It's like an RPG sword, right? You're going to have a sword that, you know, with the higher stats, like a higher accuracy in Diablo or something like that, it's going to hit more, right? And with a lower accuracy stat, it's not. The bullet, they all travel the same, okay? So, as a baseline, we have the M40. Alright. Next up, we have the Mark 14. Dead center hit. I didn't move anything. Now again, paying attention to the field of view, what do you notice that's different on the left? You can see the entire building and extra, right? Now, if I were like not using 2 sniper rifles, which I'm guessing they just assumed nobody was going to really do anytime soon, or figure out anytime soon, I'd never notice this. I would aim, like say I had my assault rifle out and then I pulled out my Mark 14 to aim because I wanted to shoot a target at range. I would think, oh, okay, I need to center it here again, right? Oh no, it must be different because it has different bullet drop and velocities. They don't. They're exactly the same. Again, my point aim doesn't change. Only the gun. Now you can say, oh, well, they have similar calibers, right? I mean, I don't know specifically what the M40A5 shoots because I'm not familiar with that weapon. I'm not a Marine. My experience is with Army weapons. So we had the M24. I don't know what caliber the M40A5 shoots. I'm guessing it's going to be 7.62. So realistically, they would shoot the same caliber, right? Which is going to be the argument against this, right? But it's not the case. They're all identical. Because one person said, oh, well, trust me, I played in the beta, and I could tell the difference between, the bullet drop at 600 meters when I was shooting targets. No, you couldn't. You're just stupid and fell for the field of view like everybody else. Alright, that's not fair. I'm making it personal. You're not stupid. Ubisoft tricked you, and it's not your fault for falling for it. Because in the beta, how many sniper scopes could we get? There was only the ones that you could get from the M40 that were from Unidad snipers, right? We didn't have, full access to shit. So stuff like this didn't come up. So you know what? That was totally, I'm being a fucking dick. I'll accept that. So, again, M40. Nothing's different except for the field of view and the scope. They're the exact same scope. Nothing here is different. Let's go to the HTI. Now, I would wager they have different ballistics, right? Between the 7.62 of the M40 and the 50 cal of the HTI. Look at that. They have the exact same point of impact. They have the exact same velocity and the exact same bullet drop. It is not different. They are literally the same. All they're doing is duping you into trying to move the reticle. Now here we go. Caliber 338 Lapua, right? M40. Oops, this is suppressed. I'm sorry, I was fucking with this one afterwards. That's gonna change it a little bit. Hold on. They are the same. Ballistics. Ubisoft has screwed sniping in this game. No, they haven't screwed it. They've made it cheesy and cheap. Instead of making all these different rifles with all these different parts and enriching and fun experience to play with for people who enjoy sniping, it's literally an arcade RPG shooter. That's all that sniping is in this game. And I have a feeling it's probably the same with assault rifles. So, to debunk the people who are saying, oh no, they have different bullet drop, they are the same. They are literally the same. That's pretty disheartening, in my opinion. But, I just wanted to point this out because for me to just say it is one thing, but for me to demonstrate it, I hope it's something different. And people can say, oh, hey, he backed it up with, an example. I'm really upset about this, personally, because I enjoy playing, a Recon, Overwatch type person when I'm playing with my friends. I'll cover them, and I take out targets that are, marked for them or whatever. So, this is the kind of gameplay that I like. It takes me back to, the fun times in the military. I enjoyed this kind of stuff, right? Whereas, what I get, in fact, is being tricked into, trying to compensate for different bullet drops when they're all literally the same. These are all the exact same scopes. right? But the difference is, like, ever so slight changes in field of view or centering, when in fact they all have the exact same point of impact. They all have the exact same, like, flight path of the bullet, right? So I just wanted to run through all the sniper rifles that I have available to demonstrate that they do perform exactly the same. Now again, like I prefaced with, the SVD doesn't perform like this. It's the only one so far that I've noticed. Actually, let me go through the parts and see that I have this as set up as correctly as possible. From what I've seen, this is the only one that I can't get to perform the way all the others do, right? So I don't understand why the SVD has its own flight path, but every other sniper is literally the same. The SVD is the only one I've seen that has a different bullet drop and velocity. They all seem to have the exact same travel time, and admittedly I don't have a second person to do a stopwatch, so I can't test it specifically. But of the ones that are conforming with the point of impact sharing, regardless of their munition, which, you know, ranging from 7.62 to 50 cal should be very different. They should not perform the same. But they all seem to have the exact same travel time as well. Again, the SVD is the only one I've noticed that performs differently. So if you wanted to get the SVD, don't, because obviously it just is garbage. It falls way short, so it's going to have a shorter maximum range, and its travel time seems to be longer. This is the only one that seems to do this. The others are all identical characteristics. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. I just wanted to go ahead and redo this video. I did one originally. When I first tested this, I was literally just shooting at like a bush or something like that, and it was, you know, 400 meters or something like that away. When I originally tested it, I couldn't find like a really good setup to test it on, right? And like I was just kind of cycling through them all, basically, because I didn't know, like, you know, I just wanted to see how the ballistics performed on all of them, since I have them all, right? And I was like, what the heck? Because I was cycling through them all, I was just going boom, 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 and going through them, and I wasn't changing anything. It was just change, I'd exit out, and I'd shoot again, right? And I wouldn't change like where I was aiming at all. So when I went to go do a video demonstrating this the first time, I kept recentering it, right? Like where I perceived the point of impact would be, based off of the M40, which is that second hash. And the rounds were, you know, seemingly having different drop. And I was like, oh my god, great, I'm streaming this and I'm going to look like an idiot because now it's doing exactly the opposite of what I'm claiming it does. And after shooting it a couple times and switching between them, I started realizing that the field of view was different. Like, I wasn't seeing the same thing. I was like, wait, what the heck? So then I went back to just baselining with the M40 and not moving my hand at all and just shooting another one. And like I said, the SVD is the only one that has a different drop. The rest of the rifles all have a nearly identical drop. If it is different, it's not different in drop. It's different in like left or right, or, you know, like they all are performing the same. And the weird thing is, the larger caliber guns, like the 50 caliber ones, seem to be dropping shorter than, like, you know, the 7.62, right? Now, I'm not a sniper school graduate by any means, but I have a lot of experience with Army rifles, and I mean, I've seen 107 rounds go push out to, you know, 2,700 meters, something around there. I've never seen anybody do that with a 7.62. That would be impressive. Why would a 50 cal round be dropping down, have more drop than a fucking 7.62? I don't know. I'm not even going to get into that because, you know, I'm not by any means advanced enough in ballistics to be, like, getting into that. but I am intelligent enough to go, oh, they all have the exact same point of impact regardless of their weapon. They all have the same exact ballistics in this game. Like that's I can look at a video game and see that. That's easy, right? Um, so I'm really kind of like just bummed about this. I'm still having a lot of fun in Wildlands. Don't get me wrong. Playing with friends is probably the coolest thing. Like I haven't had this much fun in a video game in a long time. But that said, the bullet drop is really disheartening. The sniping in general is really kind of just depressing. There should have been a 0 option for scopes. Additionally, if you're using a rangefinder on the ones that have a rail for it, the rangefinder doesn't give you a range or anything like that, by the way. It just increases the range that the gun can shoot, because that makes sense, right? So tell me some more about how it's not an RPG, because that's literally what that is. You're saying that by putting a rangefinder on my gun, it suddenly shoots further. So yeah, this is a failure report. I just wanted to do a quick video on the sniper weapon systems in Wildlands, particularly pertaining to their ballistics and how they all perform exactly the same, minus the SVD. It's the only one that I've come across so far that performs differently.